AI has two superpowers. One superpower is to distract people, such as TikTok algorithm.
That's right.
And the other superpower is to make you hyper creative. So you become a hyper consumer or a hyper creator. And in this marathon race, the vast majority of people have got their shoes tied together because AI is distracting them. Some people are running traditional race. Some people have got a bicycle, and some people have got a Formula One vehicle. And it's going to be very confronting when the results go on the scoreboard and you see, oh, wait a second, there's a few people who finished this marathon in about 30 minutes, and there's a lot of us who finished in like 18 hours because we had our shoes tied together. And I can't understand, if we've got equal opportunity, why there's so much disparity between how fast it, I'm using an analogy, but this idea that, someone, like a lot of people are going to start earning $1 million a month. And a lot of people are going to say, hey, I can't even get a job for $15 an hour.
The exponential growth phase is going to be over, and like so many before you, you're going to be buying at the top, fighting for small gains, while early adopters reap the benefits of moving fast. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, as one of the 3 co-founders of Apple, just 12 days in, worried the company would fail, he sold his 10% stake back to the boys for $800. Today, that stake would be worth over $200 billion, a sum that would make him one of the richest people in the world. In 1962, Decca Records passed on signing a scrappy little band from Liverpool because it was obvious that, and I quote, guitar music was on the way out. That band was none other than the Beatles, one of the highest selling bands of all time. They went on to sell over 600 million records. In 1998, Yahoo had the chance to buy Google for $1 million, but they passed because they didn't think the company was worth it. They were wrong. Google's market cap today is over $2 trillion. In 2005, Blockbuster was offered the chance to buy Netflix for $50 million. They actually laughed at the price. Whoops! Netflix is now worth over $250 billion, while Blockbuster has but one remaining store left in Bend, Oregon, that sells merch. There are so many more of these stories. I could literally go on for days, but the point is simple. It's not enough to live during a revolution. You have to recognize it and take action before it becomes obvious to everyone. And with AI, that window is getting more narrow by the day. It is already terraforming the technological and professional landscape. By 2030, AI is projected to eliminate or transform up to 800 million jobs worldwide. That's nearly 1 in 5 workers on planet Earth. In 2023 alone, the number of corporate earnings calls mentioning AI surged over 360% compared to the prior year. AI-related IPOs in 2023 raised over $11 billion, the highest total for any sector that year. And the average AI-related ETF gained over 50% in 2023, more than quadruple the S&P 500's 10-year average annual return. Over the last couple of years, if you weren't invested in AI, odds are you missed the boat. Goldman Sachs estimates AI could drive $7 trillion in global GDP growth over the next decade. And yet, most households own 0 AI-linked assets. That is insanity. As inflation robs their purchasing power, they are sitting on the sidelines. Here is the harsh truth no one wants to face. Opportunities like this have an expiration date. Once adoption hits a certain point, the upside collapses, and whoever owns the right basket of stocks wins, and everybody else loses.
You work with thousands of entrepreneurs. What are you telling them in terms of their current businesses or business opportunities that you're foreseeing?
So I think that small teams have infinite leverage now, and that when you have a team of, say, 5 to 10 people who share an incredible passion for a meaningful problem in the world, and they want to see that meaningful problem solved, and they come together in the spirit of entrepreneurship to solve that problem, that little 5 to 10 person team, armed with the technology that we now have available, you can have a big impact. You can make a lot of money, you can have a lot of fun, you can solve meaningful problems in the world, you can scale solutions, you can probably do more in a 3-year window than most people did in a 30-year career. And then that little band of 5 to 10 people could either go together onto a new meaningful problem, or they could disband and, work on other meaningful problems with different teams.
Here is the harsh truth no one wants to face. Opportunities like this have an expiration date. Once adoption hits a certain point, the upside collapses and whoever owns the right basket of stocks wins and everybody else loses. History shows this time and time again. When the personal computer revolution took off in the 1980s, early investors in Microsoft saw 50,000% returns over 2 decades. But if you bought after 2000, you were looking at single-digit annual growth. The rocket fuel was spent. During the internet boom, Amazon went from 7 cents adjusted IPO price to over $3 within 2 years, a 4,000% gain, and much, much more if you held longer. But by the time the average investor felt safe to buy in, those gains were history. Latecomers both miss the upside and take the inflationary hit of holding their money in cash or, best case, underperforming assets. Now, layer AI on top of that same pattern, and you get moving at warp speed. AI's adoption curve is so steep that the window for massive early stage gains is being measured in months, not decades. Companies are hitting valuations in 1 year that took internet giants a decade to reach. The AI chip market is projected to more than 5x from 2022 to 2032. More than half of Fortune 500 companies are already integrating generative AI into their core operations. In 2024, Google, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft collectively invested over $400 billion in AI infrastructure, surpassing the US government's spending on social services. And for 2025, Big Tech is planning to spend over $300 billion more on AI infrastructure. Things are moving so fast, you need to do your research now. People tell you that AI is overhyped, that it's going to hit a wall, that it's not going to be as disruptive as people are saying. And that runs the risk of lulling you into a sense that there's going to be plenty of time to react, or that there's not going to be anything to react to. And that's exactly how you end up missing this opportunity. Now, no one can see the future clearly, certainly not myself. But the reality is that AI is already changing every aspect of our lives, and the depth and rate of change is accelerating. The only promise I can make is that AI is going to surprise us. It's going to do things that we can't even yet imagine. So if the stuff it's already doing is phenomenal, imagine what the future holds.
I would say knowledge is power. Embrace, understand, grapple with the consequences, don't look the other way when it feels scary, and do everything you can to understand and participate and shape, because it is coming.
And while I'll talk about this more later, the goal is not to try and be the smartest or most informed investor on the planet. Most people simply do not have time for that. Find a broad way into the sector and avoid getting seduced by headlines. Time in the market is better than trying to time the market. This is the world we live in. If we kill the Fed, reharden money, balance the budget, and only use debt to spur outside growth, then you can go back to just saving your money. AI is moving 10 times faster. In an inflationary environment like the one we're all living in, owning assets is not an option. Find what's right for you and make your move. Doing nothing is the same as guaranteeing that you are going to get eaten alive by inflation. And on top of that, no matter how well any of us think we understand what's coming, the only thing I can guarantee you is that we are going to be surprised.